We are live. Welcome to another exciting show on a Monday evening. Thanks for coming through. We are live now on all social platforms. We are streaming live. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming through. Hopefully, you are having an awesome weekend. Of course, it's a Monday holiday. Everyone is relaxing, resting at home. All right, we are back. We are back. Something went bad, the technical stuff. But welcome, welcome, welcome again. Please tune in so that we can get moving, get started. We are live here on social platforms. We are talking blockchain. We want to introduce everyone to the blockchain space so that we take advantage of the opportunities that are found in the blockchain space. The aim and the focus, the vision of this program is that everyone get to understand about this technology. In fact, it's a new technology, and do it the right way instead of doing it from the programs, from the networks, without much understanding of what blockchain, the crypto market means. The purpose of this program is to make sure we introduce you to the right information, to the right education, and do it right without any fear and without any pressure. Thank you for coming through. As you are coming in, please indicate where you are watching this broadcast from. Just on the comment section below, indicate where you are watching this broadcast from so that we know, and at some point we can visit your area and we have a meeting one-on-one, or just say hi as we are passing. We always all over the country. In fact, we go all over the continent. Tune in, please come through. All right, happy Mother's Day, happy Women's Month, happy Women's Day. The blockchain and the mothers are the most important thing at this point in time. Mothers are those people who are having so much love and they care. And when you look at their love, their tenderness, and looking at blockchain, the transparency that we found in blockchain, you can see they are, inseparable. So we say with blockchain love, we love our mothers, we love our women, we love our ladies, we love everyone who represents the feminist gender with crypto love. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, as you are coming through, indicate where you are watching this broadcast from. Just on the comment section, do indicate the province, the city, and just say hi so that we can start engaging. And please share this broadcast to your pages, to your friends, and to your groups, start a watch party so that everyone can watch with us and get this information firsthand. Today, we've got our guest speaker who's much experienced in the blockchain space, who has traveled the world talking about the blockchain, who's been in everywhere evangelizing about blockchain, making sure that everyone understands blockchain and learn about the opportunities that are found in blockchain. Our guest speaker today that I will introduce to you is the chairwoman for United Blockchain in Africa. Like I just mentioned now, she's one of the first adopters of blockchain, first adopters of the crypto market. When she first introduced to this space, she didn't hesitate. She saw an opportunity and she knew that blockchain is going to change the world. Blockchain is the new system, is the new technology that is here to change how we do things, to change how the humanity are doing things, not only in Africa, all over the world. And of course, she's making sure that blockchain in Africa is adopted and is done on a very, very, very clear and transparent way. All right, I'll introduce to you our lady speaker, so our guest for tonight. Her name is Yaliwe Soko. Yaliwe, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me. Good evening. And good evening, everyone.
We are excited to have you today here. And hopefully you're going to share a lot about blockchain. You're going to educate us what blockchain means to African women. Since it's a Women's Month, we want to make sure that all the women out there are liberated. They adopt blockchain the way it's supposed to be. So please do share with us everything that you know about blockchain. We can even go for hours with you today. Do not worry about time. As long we get all the information that is going to help us, assist us in choosing the way forward and having the better future on blockchain.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you for joining me today and for inviting me, Elson. So I'll just do a little bit of an introduction. I'm Yaliwe Soko. I'm the chairwoman of the United Africa Blockchain Association. I'm the South African ecosystem leads at C-Labs working on Celo. And I've been in the blockchain space since 2016.
Hello, Yaliwe. There's a bit of an echo on your side. I'm not sure if it's your phone. There's a bit of an echo. Can you correct that? You sound like you're...
I'm not hearing the echo. I'm actually on a laptop. So I'm wondering where the echo could be coming from. I'm actually on a laptop.
You sound like you are in water or something. I thought maybe you...
No, I'm not on a phone. I'm actually on a laptop. So I'm wondering where the echo could be coming from, because I don't get feedback from my side. Can you hear me? Hi, Elsa, can you hear me? I'm not really sure if this is live because I can't see Elson right now.
And we are back. There is a bit of a technical problems. I'm not sure what's happening today, but there is a bit of a glitch. Can you hear me there, Yaliwe?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. And then can the participants hear me? Because I'm not able to see if they can or not.
I can hear you clearly now. I think it's much better. And I'm excited that now we are beginning to hear so much from you. All right. Please, you can continue with your introduction. You were introducing yourself, telling us about your journey. Please go through.
Okay, so like I stated, I'm the chairwoman of the United Africa Blockchain Association, which is a nonprofit organization that is really here to foster the adoption of blockchain technologies, or let me just rather say emerging technologies, and mainly through education, because we want to relay actually the right information out there to the people. And we're also looking at skills development. We're looking at Africans really taking blockchain app or emerging technologies as a career, right? Not looking at it as a part-time thing where you think you're going to make some quick money. So we're really pushing education and adoption. I'm also the South African ecosystems lead for C Labs working on Celo. So Celo is a blockchain platform, and C Labs is the organization that has been putting together the platform, though Celo is a decentralized platform and it does not belong to anybody. So I am responsible for making sure that this information reaches the South African people on behalf of C Labs and Celo. And also I'm DevCon scholarship alumni. So I was awarded top learner at Ethereum DevCon in Japan last year, and I was crowned DevCon Queen. So I've been in the blockchain space for quite some time. I've been in the blockchain space since 2016. It has been a process. It has been learning. It has been a lot of sacrifices to get the information out there. And it also has been a very interesting journey. So I'm just going to talk a little bit, just very briefly, on what blockchain is, because I know there's a misconception of between blockchain and Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, right? So blockchain.
All right. Before you go there, I just want to ask something so that we understand about your role in the United Africa Blockchain Association. What does it mean and what does it do exactly? I want to understand that space. We might be missing so much, while we should suppose or we should be involved on that association or on that program. What does it stand for? And what's your role there? What are you doing there?
Okay, so the United African Blockchain Association really is a nonprofit organization that is open to everyone and really fostering blockchain adoption through education, through skills development, as well as networking and just becoming part of the broader blockchain ecosystem, right? So we work with a lot of international organizations, and we're also part of the United Nations Working Group, and that is mainly for SDGs to make sure that there is proper usability of the technology on the continent mostly because that is our focus. So the United Blockchain Association runs an initiative we call Train the Trainer, and that is really aimed at reaching and teaching 1 million people on blockchain in Africa. And these people could become anything they want to be in the space, right? They could become evangelists, they could run their own startups, they could be educators themselves. So this is a model where we train you and we give you an opportunity to train other people so that we work together in making sure that this information reaches a lot of people in the right way. So basically, I chair the organization. The organization is made up of about 8 directors. We've got an extensive board of advisors, and that cuts across different industries, not only in the blockchain space.
Oh, wonderful. Nice. Thank you to hear that we were actually in the dark, and most of us here, we didn't know there's such an organization that is actually helping us a lot. And of course, we're going to do some more research as we are indulging in blockchain, getting to know about blockchain, getting to understand blockchain, and of course, making use of blockchain. As with people like you who are going to be guiding us and making sure that we do the blockchain the right way.
Yeah.
Tell me something. You are also recognized as the top 10 women in blockchain who are influencing blockchain. Tell us more about that. Your journey, and of course, doing so much projects in Africa and internationally, talking about blockchain, being invited in conferences, talking about blockchain, and of course, you have appeared in several TV shows. Last time I was watching you on CNBC channel 410, talking about blockchain and how it's going to change the way we do, how it's going to be adopted in Africa. Tell us more about that.
Okay, definitely. So yes, this year I was awarded top 10 women in blockchain. That is in Africa, and I was also one of the most influential women in blockchain around the world. Let me just say the only African around the world that was recognized as the most influential woman in blockchain. So really what has been a catalyst to that is because I've been very vocal, right? I've been very vocal about this technology because I'm passionate about the change that it can bring to Africa, right? I always say, look, everybody's looking at Africa except Africans. Africa is a very young continent. Africa is still developing. So if you look at the other countries around the world, in order for them to adopt new technologies, they've already set up systems, right, that they need to go back to and start reinstating new systems. It's very difficult. But Africa, we are building so we can leapfrog, right? Instead of, we can leapfrog and build from where the rest of the world is in terms of technology, right? And we are really at an advantage because now we're in the 4th industrial revolution. We don't need to go back and change things. Our systems have already been outdated. So if you look at what a blockchain really is, a blockchain is really, it's a record of transactions, right? The only thing is that instead of this record, you can always go back. Let's say if you record something on your computer right now, you can always go back and you can alter that information. If maybe you're not happy with me and you recorded me somewhere, you can always go back and delete my name and say, I'm not so happy with Yaliwe today. I'm gonna add Lerato to this list. But with the blockchain, you can't change that information, right? It is recorded in real time. It is time-stamped. It also contains what I normally call it a DNA, just to simplify things, right? Of another block. So there's a relationship with those records. So you can't just go at random. And I look at this, I'll give you an example of one system that we have in Africa. That could be, I would say, let me just put the ID system, for example, right? The ID systems in some countries, in Zambia, they're very, very porous. So you find that I have, my ID was recorded years and years back. When I go back to the ID office, they can't find my information. Some people find that they have an ID and they've been married to somebody because the systems are really, really porous. But if all those IDs were actually on the blockchain, we could avoid a lot of things. also goes for things like land registration. There are people in Africa who can sell a piece of land to 5 people because the record management systems are very poor. Another thing we can talk about is African currencies. It's the money, right? If I have to travel to a country like, for example, I would go to, even just going down to Zimbabwe, right? Oh, Zimbabwe, I can say we can use South African rands, but going to a country like Nigeria, I have to change my rands into dollars. And when I get to Nigeria, I have to change my dollars into naira. And there's all this loss of money all the way. So because Africa is wide with a lot of currencies, so there's a lot of thought in how the blockchain can help, because attached to the blockchain is what we call cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, right? So that's where currencies like Bitcoin come in. It's to try and mitigate some of these things.
Oh, wonderful. That's a great explanation about what blockchain is. Can you further tell us more about this blockchain thing? Because it's, I can tell you, it's very, very difficult to understand blockchain. It's mathematics, and most people are always like, I never did mathematics at school, and this thing is complicated. In simple terms, what is blockchain? I know you've just touched it, but can you come again in a very simplified way to explain what blockchain it is, especially explaining about information being uploaded on the networks, and then forming some blocks, and blockchain being decentralized, the transparency part, the trusted part, and give examples. You have actually have given some examples about the IDs and stuff. Yeah, please come back again and explain so that we get to understand about blockchain.
Okay, so a blockchain, like I said before, is it's more of, I'll just really simplify it. I'll try my best, but I'll say a blockchain is a list of transactions, right? So let's say, for example, you're a clerk in land registration department, right? Or land registration ministry. So what you have is we record each and every transaction that takes place. So let's say if I own a piece of land and I sell it to somebody, I have to come to the land registrations office, and you have to log that information, whether it's with a pen or you're going to log it onto a computer. For some of the offices that are a little bit more advanced than the others, right? So you keep that record of transactions. And because these transactions are mainly kept with you at your office, you are solely responsible for those transactions, right? If that piece of paper had to get lost and I don't have a backup paper at home, or maybe I lost it in the fire and your building goes up in flames, all that information is lost and I can't really come and claim that I'm the owner of that land, right? Or somebody can just decide to change some things, and for us to come and go back and start looking at who owns that, it's another process. So what a blockchain is, it's a list of transactions, but it's done digitally, right? It has what we call a timestamp, right? And so if a transaction happens at, let's say now it's like 7:26 p.m., right? It's going to record exact time that a transaction happened and where the transaction came from. If it was sent from me to you, it's going to record. It might not record your name, but it's going to record kind of an identity that is attached to you. And this could be a number, right? It could just be a code or something, right? And also, in order for this transaction to really be approved on the blockchain network, there has to be what we call consensus. So a blockchain is a list of transactions, but it's not owned by one person who is solely responsible. So what happens is that there's people sitting in computers around the world, right? And once these transactions are being updated, each and every of these people is sent a copy. So those people act as witnesses on that network, right? So I decide to say today, I did not sell this piece of land to you. There's a lot of witnesses around. I have to convince over 51% of those witnesses that I actually did not sell this piece of land to you, right? So there's that kind of consensus on this network. And another thing with the blockchain, like I gave an example of this office going up in flames, right? Once this office goes up in flames, all the records are lost. But because when you post a transaction on blockchain, each and everyone who is part of that network receives a copy, right? If my computer has to go back in flames, there's no point of failure because if I was the 100th computer, there's still over 99 computers around the world holding that very exact copy of that transaction.
Wow, what a phenomenal technology we find ourselves in. In fact, that we have just discovered a decade ago. Tell me, what's the adoption of blockchain in the private and public sector? Are the government adopting blockchain? Are they looking into it? Are there any institutions that are investigating blockchain for the purpose of using it? What are they saying? What's their finding? What's their investigative results? And are they looking into adopting it? Please shed some light to us.
Okay, with the blockchain technology, there's been a lot of interest when it comes to the government sector. In terms of adoption, I can't really say because there's been debates on whether, look, blockchain comes with transparency, right? Like I said earlier on, a record of this transaction is sent to everybody on the network, right? So there's some concerns when it comes to, especially the public sector. What kind of information do they want out there in the public eye, right? If this is going to be open to people to come and have a look at what's been happening, right? So there's been a lot of debate. But South African Reserve Bank is also looking at regulation because this is a sector that is not really regulated, right? So they're looking at how do we regulate this? This is a decentralized platform. How do you regulate something that is so decentralized? Nobody owns it, right? I can regulate an office, a ministry, because I know it belongs to this is the person in charge. These are the people who do certain things, right? But how do you regulate something that is not owned by anybody? So it has become very difficult to really regulate this. But also there's companies that look into, because there are different types of blockchain, right? Like I said, a blockchain is a list of transactions, right? It's a digital list of transactions. There's what we call private blockchains. So these are blockchains that are maybe within an organization, right? And it can only be maybe also, I would say participation is only by appointment. We can say within an organization, we will take 2 people or 3 people, we give them access to this blockchain, right? And they can vote on what happens. There's also blockchains that are maybe within organizations, right? Like kind of consortium kind of organizations. I'll give you an example of Facebook's Libra. They started an association called the Libra Association, right? But it had different companies coming together, like Visa and all these other companies coming together, right? And each of them is part of this blockchain and they're running a node. So the consensus mechanism there is just within that kind of cooperative. But where it is something that is open to you and I, we can all participate, it's very difficult to actually regulate it. So that's why they're still trying to find the best possible way to contain this technology.
Wow. Thank you for tuning in, guys. You are watching the Crypto King live show, streaming live on all social platforms. And please share this broadcast to all your friends, groups and pages so that we have as many people watching and getting all this information shared to us by our expert Yaliwe Soko, who has traveled externally all over the world educating people and sharing information about blockchain. She's here today with us and we need to learn as much as we can from her, and hopefully in fact she's already delivering some key points all about blockchain. Yaliwe, tell me something. What are the opportunities found on blockchain? Was a lady, a woman, a young youth out there looking into getting into blockchain? What are the opportunities? What are the projects that they can start in order for them to say, you know what, we are starting blockchain projects and we're looking into, helping the society, helping the ecosystem, and making sure everyone also get to benefit from this new technology?
Okay, perfect. So the opportunities are they're actually immense, right? There's so many opportunities in the blockchain space, but here's a disclaimer. You cannot just come in and think things are just going to happen, right? You need to give yourself time, you need to work, and you need to really take blockchain and the space very seriously, right? And why I'm saying that is that there's this whole thing. So people think you can just come into this space and you can speculate about cryptocurrencies, and you can become maybe a millionaire overnight, or so there's been a lot of misconceptions, and and this space has been misunderstood. So blockchain is a space you take just like any other career, right? You need to nurture it, you need to grow, you need to actually be able to speak the language. So you need to invest time and invest in yourself to go out there. So look, you could be a lawyer and still be involved in blockchain. You could be an accountant and still be involved in blockchain. You could be a marketer and still be involved in blockchain. You could be a writer and still be involved in blockchain, right? So it's not restrictive. You can be the best version of yourself, but you could tap into this space because you have an understanding of what it is, and you can apply your skills. You can apply your accounting skills to this space. You can apply your legal skills to this space, right? But what you need is the time to actually nurture this space, to understand this space, and to take this seriously as a career, not as a part-time thing. Because the moment you take it as a part-time thing, you begin to look at speculation, you begin to look at trying to say, this is not working for me, right? I have been in the blockchain space since 2016. I've had to cultivate, I've had to grow, I've had to harness opportunities, some not so very nice, right? But because I was passionate about what I'm doing. One thing though I can assure you is this space gives you a threshold to be in this global space, right? To be a global citizen. And I always say that because for me, blockchain has been the true meaning of global citizenship. Not all these shows that they bring up and say, oh, global citizenship. That has no meaning, because somebody will come and perform, and you watch and you feel like a global citizen. You are not. You're only a global citizen when you begin to participate in the global economy, right? Being part of this space gives you an opportunity to get a job somewhere in the United States while sitting in the comfort of your home and getting paid while sitting in the comfort of your home, right? But that is applying your skills. That is what I call global citizenship. I normally say a long time ago, if I needed to get a job in the United States, I needed to get a passport, I needed to get a visa, I needed to get on a plane, and I needed to go find a place to stay. But this space allows you that from wherever you are, right? You could be sitting as long as you're getting things done. I mean, everything's done digitally, right? So it gives you that opportunity as a young person. So what is it that you're trying to achieve? And how are you going to bring out the best version of yourself in the blockchain space? There are no limitations. You could be just a social media enthusiast, and you could thrive in this space.
Wow, that's so important and so informative. So you mean there's so many opportunities? In fact, there's so much to do on the blockchain space for everyone that wants to understand. The most important thing is to learn and educate yourself all about blockchain so that you can tap into the opportunities offered by blockchain.
Definitely. And you have to be involved in the space. I mean, meet the people, network, right? So another thing, you spoke about startups, right? There are platforms out there. You could have an idea, right? You don't have to be a technical person. You only need to have the idea, right? And you start to tap into these networks, because I'm working at C Labs, and they're working on a platform called Celo. Celo is a blockchain. If you have an idea, you have a startup in mind, there's so many opportunities. Celo has Celo grants. They have Celo Camp, where they incubate startups. They're offering opportunities for young people to go out there. And right now, UNICEF had a UNICEF innovation program where they were looking for startups to apply for blockchain grants up to $100,000, right? And they encouraged Africans to apply. They encouraged women to apply, right? So you have this idea, you don't have to have the technical know-how. You can get technical guidance on how it could work, but you have this concept, go for it. And some of these things, look, there's no expert in blockchain right now. And why I say that is because even the Reserve Bank is still learning, right? recently had an opportunity to educate one of the reserve banks in Africa on blockchain, right? They're still learning on blockchain. So there are no barriers, because by the time is coming that this will be a certified course, it will be a degree course. And to enter this space, you will need to go to school for 3 or 4 years, right? But right now, and the people that are getting in now are going to be the experts that begin to educate those that are coming in, including the lecturers themselves. So there's a lot of opportunities right now because everybody's still exploring and learning, right? So you're free to join in.
Wow, you heard it from our expert today, guys, that there is so much to be done on blockchain and there's so many opportunities. In fact, there are people and there are investors out there looking for the right or the brilliant ideas that we have, that you can think of, that you can come out with, so that you can change how we do things and change how the world functions. If we have an idea, if we have a project on the blockchain space, you can actually make it work. And there are people looking at that project, whether it's whether it's going to change some how we do things, and they can find you and they can incubate you. So there is so much that we can actually benefit from the blockchain space.
No, definitely. And I mean, yeah, with the United Africa Blockchain Association, we've got a very well equipped team, right? We have people in PR who are in the blockchain space. They used to be journalists, but now they've just moved over and said, okay, I want to do PR. We've got people who are technical, right? So you can come in, you've got an idea, you can get advice, right? You can get pointed in the right direction. So the opportunities are there. Just reach out. There are people out there willing to actually lend an ear.
Wow, this is getting excited. It's exciting, we didn't know there's so much, opportunities. We didn't know there's money out there waiting for our brilliant ideas, waiting for our projects. The most important thing, guys, is to get started. Get started with whatever you have in mind. Along the way, incubators, investors, they will just appear from nowhere. Just get started with your idea.
Definitely.
All right, Yaliwe, still there. What else? We've got another topic that we have to talk about today.
Okay.
Remember, we're not going to let you go before you offload everything that we have.
Okay.
We are here to learn from you.
I'll try, yeah.
All right. Take us through stablecoins. What are stablecoins? Okay. How are they going to change the crypto industry?
Okay. So first, I'd like to just start with cryptocurrencies, right? So if you look at cryptocurrencies, these are more of digital currencies, I would say, because they produce electronically through different methods, right? And we can't go into that right now, but so these are, and some examples, I think the most common one is Bitcoin. Right? A lot of people are familiar with Bitcoin. And then we have Ethereum. There are over 5,000 cryptocurrencies. So, well, I can't afford to name all of them. But the issue that was actually identified was the volatility, right? And that is the price going up and down. So at one point, there was a time Bitcoin went to 20,000, right? There was a time that Bitcoin dropped to 3,000. So now imagine if you had bought Bitcoin when it was 20,000 and then it dropped to 3,000. You'd be depressed, right? You would even think Bitcoin is a scam. But Bitcoin has done nothing wrong. It's not a scam. It's a currency, right? But because of that price fluctuation, and there's so many factors, I normally say, if you have dollars, right? What's going to happen is that today the dollar price could be very, very high. Maybe you bought your dollar at 17 rands, right? And then 2 days back, 2 days from then, the dollar price goes to 15, right? There you've lost some money. But if you bought it at 15 and it goes to 17, you feel like, well, I've gained some money, right? It's the same thing. But the only thing is that the volatility in cryptocurrencies was just, it was really, really crazy, right? And it affected a lot of people, especially it also affected adoption of cryptocurrencies, because if I am a merchant and I'm selling products and accept Bitcoin, right? When I accept Bitcoin, maybe it was 10, it was $1,000 for Bitcoin, right? And the price goes down to $500. I'm going to feel like I'm losing money. So if it goes up, well, I'm happy I made more than my profit. So look, talking about stablecoins are actually cryptocurrencies that have been really designed to minimize the volatility, right? The up and down in price of cryptocurrencies. So really, stablecoins are usually asset backed. And what I mean asset backed is that maybe they could be backed by the dollar, you know, they could be backed by maybe an asset like gold or diamonds. And this is to really minimize the volatility. And sometimes it could be a basket of assets, right? You can have a stable coin backed by some of the major cryptocurrencies like your Ethereum, your Bitcoin, and sometimes it's just backed by a basket of currencies like dollars, euros, pounds, right? So that is really to minimize the volatility of cryptocurrencies. Also, how that helps is that, like I gave an example of a merchant, right? If I'm selling, I'll give you an example of Celo. So Celo has a stable coin and it's backed, it's pegged to the dollar, right? Celo dollars is 1-to-1 with the US dollar, right? So what I know is that if I'm selling something, right, and somebody pays me in Celo dollar, I can easily go and refer back to the US dollar price and say, oh, this is what it is, right? So the fact the volatility is minimized. And also how the volatility can help is if you're sending money, even cross borders, right? People were afraid sometimes to receive cryptocurrencies because you're thinking, oh, I asked this person for a service of $200. Maybe by the time I get the crypto, it will be $180, you know? So there was that fear. But with a stable coin, you are sure that the volatility is minimized. So if you charge $200, if there is maybe a change in price, it could be very, very slight, right? Compared to your normal price. So even when you're going to be selling, you're going to know how you're going to mark up to actually mitigate that risk of a slight difference, right? So it can be used for salaries. I'll give you an example. There were some people that pay their workers, especially maybe if you're working for a company that is overseas, right? And you don't want the hassle of receiving fiat because sometimes it takes long. And fiat, guys, is paper money like rands, right? So you don't want the hassle of receiving fiat because it takes too long, and also how much it will cost you to convert your dollars into rands, you know, from the bank. You don't know how much you will get, right? But also with the employers, that was a risk because there's some people who avoid paying their employees. Reason being, the price of Bitcoin has gone down, right? So they will think about it. They will say, if I pay my employee now, what's going to happen is that I will pay my employee more than I'm supposed to pay because the price has gone down. So for me to meet their salary, I have to add more Bitcoin so that it meets that salary, right? I end up giving them more Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is valuable. Nobody just wants to give out Bitcoin, right? So sometimes there'll be delays there. And also on the employee side, so if the price of Bitcoin is high, the employer will be so happy because if it's high, they give you less Bitcoin, right? And on the employee side, you receive less Bitcoin. It might even be less than what you normally receive. And then you won't be so happy because you will say, wow, if this price goes down, I haven't been given what's worth my salary or my wages, right? So there's also that dilemma when it comes to paying people with currencies. But stablecoins mitigate that, right? It's a stable coin. So if I get paid $1,000 and it seems to be in stable coins, my employer is at least assured that it's $1,000 and the volatility is minimized. It's also pegged to the dollar, so they can calculate it against the dollar, right? And they're not going to feel that pinch. And they're not going to say, oh, the price is really down. I'm not going to pay her. I'm going to wait, right? That is one of the use cases. It's also for long-term loans. So if I take out a loan in cryptocurrency and I say, okay, I'm taking out a loan for 6 months and it's $1,000, right? And the price of Bitcoin goes really down. If I took out a loan of $1,000, I still need to pay back with interest. So if that price goes down, I've lost. That loan really was not worth it, right? It was not worth it. So that was why sometimes we had an issue with adoption or usability of cryptocurrencies, right? It's volatility. So stable coins have come in to try and mitigate that so that the usability of cryptocurrencies becomes more acceptable, right? Especially to a regular person that doesn't understand these things. I mean, they'll start crying that I've been scammed. So because that's mainly, and right now there are like over 200 stable coins compared to the other utility coins, right? They're over 200 stable coins, and there's like 72 active stable coins out of that 200. And some of the examples would be if you Google stable coins, you'll find the likes of Tether. You'll find there's now Celo, which is quite new. You will find maybe some are like Wobi, there's Maker. So stable coins are slowly gaining popularity. And I think now they've been getting more momentum because people can really trust their usability and also as a store of value. If I don't want to save my money in fiat due to inflation, right? I'll give you an example. If I'm in Zimbabwe, why I would rather save my money in a stable coin that is pegged against the dollar, right, than to save it in other currencies. So really, that was why they thought of stable coins, to really minimize a volatility of cryptocurrencies.
Wonderful. That's so much informative. You have spoken a lot, and you seem to know everything there has
No, I don't know everything.
in the blockchain space. Where have you been hiding? We need people like you to be in the open and educate us. Where have you been all along? Where have you been?
Where you found me?
Wonderful. Please, guys, share some love, show us some love, show her some love, show her some love. Like, do some love, do those love things, some likes, and share this broadcast to your friends. Start a watch party. Share to your pages and share to your groups so that as many people can come through and watch this live broadcast as she continues sharing so much valuable information with us here today. Like I told you guys, she's here and she's here for the next 4 hours. We're not going to let her go. And with all this information, we wanted to offload everything that she has. So yeah, please invite everyone. And please do some comments. If you have some questions, do comment on the comment section so that we can learn together, engage with each other, and get to know everything about the blockchain, about the stablecoins. Right. In the trading world, stablecoins, how do they actually facilitate the trading? I see there's so other people saying they hedge against the volatility of the market. When the crypto coins are crashing, they would rather move the money to the stable coins and start buying again. What's your take? Are they any use in that space?
Okay, so stable coins right now are being listed on exchanges, and some of the exchanges are just like your regular cryptocurrency exchanges, right? So it's not like they're listed on a special exchange. And also just like cryptocurrencies, right? The more adopted a stable coin is, I think it begins to gain value, right? So just like the dollar, if you trade on the stock market, right? Sometimes the dollar price could go up and it could go down. You can buy low and you can sell high, right? It's the same thing with stable coins. So you can trade just like the way you trade cryptocurrencies and just the way you trade any other cryptocurrencies, right? So yes, if you look at the markets maybe about to crash, if it comforts you, you can convert your normal, because they're usually with the stable coins, you can also pair them against BTC, right? So you can have a stable coin to Bitcoin pair, right? You can have a Bitcoin to Ethereum pair and other cryptocurrencies. So you can say, okay, I'm gonna sell my Bitcoin right now, and I'm gonna buy a stable coin, right? because maybe the volatility has just been really disturbing, or maybe there's some news that's coming up and you're not sure what's going to happen within the market, right? So you can do that because the volatility is minimized with stable coins. But I think just like any other market, really, this I wouldn't say this is how it is. And please, this is no financial advice. So if you want to buy stable coins and somebody lose some money and say, oh, Yaliwe said it. So it's more, this is actually I'm just giving you my understanding of things. So it's you can use it to maybe back up that if you really want to watch, right? There are people who take risks and say, okay, let me just see, I'll leave my cryptocurrencies. Or there's some people who say, okay, I'm not so sure what's going to happen because there's this news that's coming up. Let me rather be safe. And when I can see things are moving, we're moving into the bull market. You can now say, okay, let me buy back my Bitcoin or whatever it is. So you can just play around with this. Like I said, they're not experts in this field, right? But there are people who can guide you according to what they know.
Oh, wow. The next question that I have here is that where do we find stable coins? Is there a market cap, or is there a website where we look into these stable coins and say, there we find them? Where can we find them?
Okay, so some of the stable coins are actually just integrated on coinmarketcap.com.
Okay, so yes,
you can go to coinmarketcap.com, right? So if you search stable coins, I'm going to be sending through, I think I'll send through the presentation to you, Elson, from our team, from the United Africa Blockchain Association, talking about stable coins. And then maybe you can share with some people who are interested. They can share their information with you and you can share it with them, right? So if you go to coinmarketcap.com, you will find, you won't know this is a stable coin unless you know about them, right? They're already integrated into the 5,000 cryptocurrencies on CoinMarket. So you find Tether there. You'll find this stable coins on local exchanges, right? You'll find them on, like, for example, Celo is listed on Bittrex, it's listed on OKX. So they're listed, almost all of these stable coins are listed on most of the major exchanges. So they're easily accessible. The only thing is that you need to know which one is a stable coin and which one is not. So if you just integrate onto the market, you won't know because they're all part of that list, right? Like I said, there are over 200 stable coins with about 72 active ones, right? This information is readily available even on Google. You can find the names, go to CoinMarketCap. If you find the names, when you go to CoinMarketCap, you can click on it, you can look at their market cap, you can look at the circulation supply, you can also look at the trading volumes of that stable coins, just like the way you do with your cryptocurrencies, the other cryptocurrencies, I would say.
All right, so stable coins are pledged 1:1 with the dollar. And tell me, is it a good thing to invest on stable coins, or it's just for short-term trading? Like when you want to buy goods, want to pay salaries, and obvious when you want to hedge, when you are trading and you want to hedge against the falling market, and you just use stable coins. But on a long-term investment, can you buy stable coins and say, you know what, I'm investing on stable coins? Is it a good idea to invest on stable coins for long-term investment?
Okay, I'm going to ask you this question, right? Why do people buy dollars sometimes, or why do people open dollar accounts, especially in Africa?
Yeah, because African currencies, fiat currencies, they're always falling. They're always losing value. So they want to hedge against, losing value of our native currencies. They buy the USD. Yes.
Exactly. So it's the same thing with stable coins. So instead of you buying US dollars, right? Why not just buy stable coins? And so you can use them for long-term savings and investments, right? And like I said, some of the stable coins are not pegged against the dollar. Some are pegged against active physical assets, right? Some are pegged against gold, real gold, or diamonds, right? So I think it's what makes you comfortable. Are you comfortable with also some of the stable coins? I gave an example of Celo that is pegged. Yes, it's 1:1 with the dollar, but look, it's actually backed by digital assets, right? A basket of digital assets. So what you find is that those that are really backed by fiat, most of the times it's a basket of fiat currencies. That is your strong currencies like your British pounds, your euros, and your United States dollars, right? So they have these different fiat currencies in different proportions, right? That back up the stable currencies. And also that is also to mitigate the risk. What if the dollar crashes? At least there's pounds in the basket, right? That are helping to balance this thing, right? So and looking at gold has been used as a currency for a very long time. Gold still stands, it's still in the market, right? So some of them are pegged, are backed by physical assets, and some of them are backed by cryptocurrencies themselves. A basket of different cryptocurrencies, including other stable coins like Mecca, for example, right? So there is a stability mechanism in the backing up of these assets, right? And most of this really it's the protocol, right? There's a way that the protocol is set, right? That it's set in such a way that it cannot go above this threshold. If this begins to happen, this is how the protocol is going to move, right? So all those things, the stability itself is usually in the protocol. So the stability is not often in the basket of assets. Yes, there needs to be a reserve. That is a reserve, right? But the stability mechanism is usually in the protocol. Like they say, in protocol we trust, isn't it? So
you are watching the Crypto King Show live on social platforms. We all about educating the African child, bringing this information to you, making sure everyone do the things right. Thank you for tuning in. We are still going. There's still so much to learn from our expert here, Yaliwe Soko. She is the chairwoman of the United Blockchain in Africa, and she's here with us today. Let's make sure that we ask as many questions as we can, so that we all get this information from her firsthand today. It's very rare to get here. It's very, very rare to meet her. So she's here today. Let's make use of this opportunity. Please explain to us about Celo. You have mentioned Celo so many times. We want to understand. It's part of the Stablecoins. What is Celo? How does it help? What does it here to change in the ecosystem? Please take us through Celo.
Okay, so I'm just going to highlight this problem that has been in the blockchain space for a long time now, and that is a lot of people have been afraid to get involved because they look at blockchain as very complex, right? And to get involved, you need to have sophisticated gadgets, right? And so also the blockchain, the technology is not really friendly. And also sending money through maybe even crypto wallets sometimes could be confusing for a lot of people, because the wallet address itself is hexadecimal numbers. It contains numbers and letters, right? It's not something you can even memorize. So what Celo has done is that Celo is a platform. It doesn't, like I said, doesn't belong to anybody. It's a blockchain, right? But Celo's approach is what they call mobile first. So mobile first allows anyone with a smartphone, a budget smartphone, to be able to participate, right, in the blockchain ecosystem, right? And also making it so user-friendly that you can send cryptocurrencies just by using a cell phone number. So if you have the Celo app on your phone, right, the Celo wallet, which is now in progress, you can easily send cryptocurrency to your contact, and that is Celo dollars or Celo to your contact, right? And this can be cashed out through different cash in, cash out agents, isn't it? So it's really, and also the whole idea of Celo is to really build tools, right? Allow people to build tools that really create the conditions of prosperity for everyone. So the mission is really financial inclusion. And also Celo has an alliance for prosperity. And this is more of vision-aligned organizations that have come together. So Celo has 100, right now they have 100 alliance members, and they're looking for more. The United Africa Blockchain Association is part of the Alliance for Prosperity. And these vision-aligned organizations, including the Grameen Foundation, including Mercy Corp, all these humanitarian organizations. Even Jack Dorsey, the owner of Twitter, is part of this Alliance for Prosperity, right? So Celo is a blockchain with a stable coin, and also it's a mobile first, it has a mobile first approach to make being part of the blockchain ecosystem very simple, and really working towards financial inclusion, and that is also bringing real usability of blockchain in different use cases. Like I mentioned, Celo has a grants program for people who want to apply for a grant, and maybe they have a startup or an idea. They have Celo Camp, which is an incubator for startups. They just offer this platform, and they also offer guidance. If you want to build an application, they can avail certain resources to you, including human resources, right, to help you succeed. So Celo, sometimes people try and compare Celo to Facebook's Libra, but Celo is not backed by fiat currencies. So there's a difference there, and Celo is open to be part of the alliance. You don't have to pay anything compared to Libra. So there's a lot of differences, but the mission is the same. So really, it's a platform that is I'll say in Africa, we're creating awareness for Celo and to make sure that there's real usability when it comes to cryptocurrencies. And around other countries as well, like the Philippines, they're running pilots where merchants can accept Celo. So instead of some people say, how do I use my cryptocurrency, right? You can go, in some countries, Celo, people can go to a merchant and purchase food. So it's really bringing back the real meaning of what money is supposed to be, because money has been misunderstood. Some say money is the root of all evil, right? So what money was supposed to be used for, right? Money was just supposed to be a medium of exchange for services and goods, right? But it ended up being something that people even go to war about. People kill each other because of money. So Celo has a mission and has a statement that says, what if money could be beautiful, right? It's bringing up the real beauty of money because it's serving a purpose to humanity. So basically, that's what Celo is in more of simple terms.
Thank you so much for sharing this information with us. We appreciate your time, and we appreciate all the experience that you are actually having. Tell me, Bitcoin started in 2008. Of course, that's where the white paper was created and launched in 2009, as we come to understand. And the person said to have created Bitcoin is Satoshi Nakamoto a decade ago. And who created blockchain? Who started blockchain?
So,
because it was never there in the 70s or in the 80s. It's also said to have started the same time with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
Okay, so I can't tell you who started blockchain, right? Just like nobody knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is, right? So what I would say is that, yes, the blockchain idea was something that started a long time in, I think it was 1991, right? It started a long time in 1991 and it got implemented, right? I would say in 2008. And by Satoshi Nakamoto. Nobody knows if it's a person, if it's a group of people, or if it's a machine. Nobody knows what it is or who it is or who they are, right? And so I can't say who started it, but I can say that when there was a motive behind it, and I think the founders of this decided to remain anonymous because they were really playing on dangerous grounds. This is massive. You just don't want to go there and say this could change the world, especially people in leadership positions. They don't want to hear this could change the world, right? Or I could change the world with my thinking, right? So maybe that's why they decided to remain anonymous. But I mean, it has been a long journey for Bitcoin itself, right? It has been it's also been about people believing in something. So I'll give you an so the blockchain, the Bitcoin cannot exist without the blockchain. So all those things, it comes to tell you that the main driver, the engine, is the blockchain, right? Just like you have your online banking, if you have an online banking platform, right? And you have your numbers, that money that you have in your bank account in numbers, you don't see it physically, right? But you believe it's there because you feel like I could go to an ATM and cash it out, right? If those servers has to go down completely, those numbers won't exist because you can't see them, right? If they decided to remove the ATMs, those numbers will cease to exist, right? So in order for you to see those numbers, it's because there's an engine behind it, right? There's a technology. Though it's centralized, but blockchain is also the engine that drives the movement of the cryptocurrency called Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, like I said, Bitcoin has been in existence for a long time now. It's over 10 years and it's gone through the phases. And also people believing in this. It's believing in the protocol, right? And believing in Bitcoin being used as kind of a digital currency, though, yes, it's not legal tender. The government says it's not legal tender, but it's used. Why is Bitcoin powerful? Because people believed in it. There's this story about the island of Yap. I don't know if you have heard about it, where people believed in stones, very huge stones as currency, right?
Yeah.
And the stone did not have to move from where it was, right? If you sold me something and you had this big rock that cannot be moved, right? As long as the people within that community saw this transaction, right? And they saw that actually I sold you something and that stone is just that I can't move it, it belongs to me. They will say, okay, yes, this transaction went through and that stone now belongs to Yaliwe. So what made that stone currency really? It's the belief, right? It's the belief. So anything can be money as long as people believe in its usability, right? People give money power. Why do we appreciate dollars? It's just a piece of paper. Tell me the paper that they make United States dollars with and the paper that they print South African rands on. What's the difference? It's because we have given that paper power, right? It's what we believe. Look, Africa has currency issues, but Africa is the richest continent in the world, right? But our currencies are messed up. And we still believe the US dollar is powerful. If you look at all these Western countries, what do they have? They don't have any resources to back up their currencies, right? They have buildings that if a plane has to explode, the building will be gone, right? Our minerals are in the ground. But because we have given that paper power, it's just a piece of paper. So it's the same thing. It's the same perception.
Wow, you are talking like an angel. You are all beauty with brains.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for this information. You are actually cruising, you know, you are rapping, you are talking from your heart. That's passion.
No, definitely.
Blockchain. You live blockchain, you survive blockchain, you breathe blockchain. I'm suspecting you are Satoshi Nakamoto.
I wish I was. I would be a billionaire.
Oh, wonderful. Tell me something. Please, guys, show us some love, send some love, likes, and those hearts. Please share this broadcast to your friends. Invite all your peers. Share to your pages, share to your groups so that we have so many people watching this information and learning from our expert here, Yaliwe, who has traveled all over the world preaching, talking about blockchain, and she's here with us today. We need to make sure that we learn from her as much as we can. Yaliwe, stablecoins, true to Satoshi vision, do they represent Satoshi Nakamoto's vision of a cashless system? Since they are patched with, in fact, they are patched or they are shadowing a fiat currency or gold. Mm-hmm. They are half cryptocurrency and half fiat currency or half assets like gold. Mm-hmm. Do they really represent Satoshi's vision?
Okay, I think Satoshi's vision mainly was not about, he's not against cryptocurrencies, right? Satoshi is against centralization. Satoshi is against control by just one person, right? So I would say really it's not about the fiat currency, it's about the control, right? And even with other cryptocurrencies besides stablecoins, real usability comes when people can actually cash out their Bitcoin into fiat currencies. All the Bitcoin billionaires, they had to cash out, right? They did not keep the Bitcoin in their wallets and call themselves billionaires because they needed to use this money for real things. Right now, fiat is the option that we have for real usability, right? If there is adoption in terms of cryptocurrencies, if there's a lot of merchants accepting it, if the schools are accepting it, if the whole world system begins to accept cryptocurrencies, there will be no need for fiat money, right? So the problem is not the fiat. The problem is the control. The problem is the centralization. The problem is the central banks printing money when they feel like printing money, right? So that has been the problem. So the thing is that with cryptocurrencies, there's a limited supply, right? You can't just wake up today and think we're going to print $5 billion and then there's now $5 billion new dollars in circulation. You can't do that. You need to work. In fact, for that Bitcoin to get into circulation, work has to be done, right? People need to put in the work. They need to put in the brain power. They need to put in, there's equipment involved. So people, yes, they get rewarded for the work that they put in, but nobody can just wake up and say, today we're going to mine 20 Bitcoin, and they just open and close their eyes and now there's 20 Bitcoin in circulation. It doesn't work like that. So it was the centralization that he was against, not the fiat.
I'm jealous. Christy says definitely Satoshi is female. I'm jealous. All right. And of course, Spongile says, yes, man is just a belief of value we place in an object. Spot on. Absolutely. That was a great point. We believe in something, and
Yeah.
if we say this is red and it becomes red, everyone starts seeing it as red. So whatever we believe in, it becomes.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that information. We are just about to wrap up. Please, guys, ask some questions on the comment section below before we wrap up, so that everyone gets to be responded to. Sawenko Sidlamuga, I see your question there about proof of stake and proof of work. Of course, that's master notes, and we're going to cover that topic most probably next week. We're going to talk about master notes and how we can actually make some money through master notes, but it's coming up. That topic is coming up. Just keep checking on us. Keep watching the show, which happens on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Of course, this Wednesday, we are talking about decentralized finance. And then on Friday, we'll be talking about crypto trading with our lady here, Spongile Masbugo. She will be unpacking everything there is to be on the crypto space, about trading, about investing, about which coins to invest in, which coins to trade on a daily basis. She will give us all that information. So keep watching the show, keep sharing this information with your peers, with your friends on groups and pages. Yaliwe, do you also believe the rumors that are going around that the first trillionaire in the world is going to emerge from the blockchain space? So far, we do not know any trillionaire, and of course, the ones that are in the open. Of course, we know there are some who are in the dark that we do not, they are not registered or recorded on Forbes list. But the ones that are registered, do you believe blockchain is going to produce the first trillionaire in the world?
I wouldn't say no, because and just to go back, right? Blockchain brings a lot of value. You can become a trillionaire, you just need to add value, right? What problems have you identified and what problems are you going to solve with the help of this technology, right? It could be anywhere. Like I said, blockchain is unlimited right now. So it could be just from participating in buying coins, right? Who knows? It could come from something like providing a solution to a problem, right? Which has been a pain point for a long time. So yes, it's very much possible. And also, people in the space just need to keep adding value to themselves. Look, I believe why sometimes we're lagging behind in this space is people don't have who to look up to, right? People want their own heroes. And let me tell you something, you're not going to come to me with a shoe that has a hole and tell me about something that's going to help me, right? Not going to tell me you're going to get rich when you've got a shoe in your hole, right? So you have to actually walk the talk, right? You have to actually show people this is how it's done, right? And I looked at the blockchain space at some point and I looked like there were not enough heroes. Yes, a lot of people were talking, right? And there was a lot of talk and less action. Now we're seeing more action, right? Now we're seeing real use cases, and now we're seeing people really taking this, like I said, taking this as a career. I had to evolve from being in an oil and gas industry to really taking this on as a full-time career. And with that, your passion begins to pay you, right? And when your passion begins to pay you, begin to grow. And when you grow, you can be anything that you want to be. So you could be the trillionaire we've been waiting for in this space. I mean, just believe it and work towards it. So I believe this space will actually bring out one of the trillionaires in this world.
So you believe we're still early? These are early days, or these are early times of this blockchain? Is 10 years gone? Do you still believe we're still at the beginning, or someone coming in now is a bit too late for him or her? Are we still at the early stages?
We're still at the very early stages. So I'll just go back and give an example of the internet when it started. When the internet started, it was like people could just send emails, right? And then people started coming up with different things. People started adding on. From there, we had iMessaging. I was able to message the other person. We had camera phones working over those poor networks. Then we have different things coming up. We have smartphones. We have video calls right now. The world hasn't stopped moving because of technology, and all this is really run on the internet, right? Nobody knew when the internet started, this is how it was going to be. The moment the internet started allowing other applications to be built, right? Then there was just an explosion, right? We have WhatsApp. We have WhatsApp calls. Right now, you will be sending money through WhatsApp, so I hear. So, there's a whole lot of things that are changing so it's the same thing with blockchain, right? We had Bitcoin and the Bitcoin blockchain. It was all about, exchanging peer-to-peer exchange of value, It was then the people that started coming up with solutions. There were now the service providers that started saying, look, I can offer you a platform where you can actually exchange your cryptocurrencies to fiat, right? There's like an ecosystem growing, right? Then we had the Ethereum blockchain coming up and saying, hey, look, you can come and build an application on top of this blockchain. This is the world computer right now. And you can provide a solution to the rest of the world just by building an application on this decentralized network, right? Then we had ICOs coming into this space. We had people coming in and building. Yes, we had some problems because everybody's learning. We had some scammers there's always bad apples everywhere, right? And now there's this whole thing that's coming up. There's the stablecoins. There's decentralized finance, right? There's pairing of blockchain with artificial intelligence. There's all those things that are coming up. So I think this is just the beginning, and we're in for an explosion because people's minds are opening up and they're beginning to think, and look, Africa hasn't even started yet. Imagine the startups that are going to come from Africa, because right now, Africans did not have the right information, and sometimes they didn't know where to go and who to talk to. So there's going to be an explosion in the space.
Wow, thank you so much. You're giving us hope and belief that we're still at early stages. There's still so much to be done, so much money to be made on the blockchain space. Most importantly, what you said is we have to be in this technology for long term. We do not have to come for short term and just to make money overnight. It's a long term. there's money to be made, but over a long period of time. Like looking at the major projects that have been that have changed the world, like Facebook, Alibaba, Amazon. They actually started, and when they were created, when they were started, they took something like 5 to 7 years to get into profits and to break even. So when you start a project, look into long term and say, you know what, I'm starting this project and it's going to change the world, but I'm here for long term. And definitely you'll be on the right track to become a billionaire. In fact, a trillionaire. We are now talking the trillion number. Trillion, trillion language.
Oh, definitely.
All right, thank you, Yaliwe. Please, in 2 minutes, give us some words that we'll remember years and years to come. That we say, Yaliwe told us something like this, and we stick to it.
Okay, so firstly, this is Women's Month, and I'd like to encourage women out there to get involved. Look, gone are the days when technology was thought about as something that only men did or men participated in. And like I said, I always say to people, look, if you're not offered a seat at the table, lay your own table and have a feast, right? So you don't have to wait for somebody to invite you. You can actually do this, right? And sometimes the road is not going to be smooth, but you can do this as long as you believe you can.
Thank you so much for those kind words, and they give us strength and wisdom, words of wisdom. We'll remember them years and years to come. Thank you so much for coming through to this broadcast. You were live at the Crypto King show, and hopefully everyone who was and who's here has learned so much from you. And of course, judging by the comments that I see here, everyone is excited. You have shared so much information, and you actually changed so many people's perception about blockchain. And this is the purpose of the show, to change what blockchain cryptocurrencies are being. I mean, people are telling a different story about this market. We want to make sure people understand this market in a very, very clear view and with a proper understanding. I normally say, we are all about representing this industry with, dignity and, of course, with honesty. We want to educate everyone. People are getting into this industry in a wrong way, and it has tainted this industry. So we want to change that. We want to make sure everyone is educated right, and they know right. And when they participate, getting involved in this market, they do it right. Thank you so much for coming through. And hopefully we'll be with you in the few weeks to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. And thanks to everyone that participated.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, thank you, guys. I check on the comments here. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Crypto King show, which happens every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We are live here on social platforms. Please do make sure that you like my page, which is Elson Mabena. Like my page so that you can follow these live updates. In the next few weeks, I'll be shifting from my personal profile to the business page. And make sure you do not miss all this information that we are sharing. We are all about educating the African child. Blockchain, the cryptocurrency market, and the Bitcoin. We want to make sure that you invest in the right market. You invest without fear or without being scammed. Please make sure you like my page and, of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please share this video with your friends, peers, to all your groups and pages so that people can get liberated with all the information shared to us today. Thank you so much. Crypto love. See you soon. See you on Wednesday and of course on Friday. Thank you so much.